Hello and welcome to what's in my tech bag. Yeah, that's right, we're talking tech. Technology. So this is what I'm taking in my tech carry-on bag. I'm making this video because I've been told that quite a few people worry about taking their tech with them as carry-on. As you can see on the table, it's quite a bit here and I'm gonna run through it with you real quick. The bag that I'll be using is a Peak Designs everyday bag, which is going to be used in the 45 litre configuration. It is a 30 to 45 litre. 45 means you have to extend this part out, and I'll probably be using a high clip to fit most of this stuff in. If you're not familiar with Peak Designs, it's quite an expensive bag, but I prefer it because it protects my equipment. Inside, I've got all the dividers in that come with it, and that's where I'll be storing all my kit. So my main home base for creating content is not just the camera, but also a laptop. So I'll be using a Mac M1. It's quite old now, it's from 2019. I've got some hard drives attached to it, Velcroed on so that I can just expand my storage. That's the 14-inch model, and the 16 also fits in the Peak Design bag, but I've gone with 14 just because it's the one I had for a while now, and I don't think I would have preferred a 16 just because of weight considerations for flights. I've also got the Magic Mouse, which obviously makes editing a lot easier when I can use it. The camera that I'm using is the Sony FX3. I'm using it right now on the tripod, so I can't actually show it on the table, but that's equipped with a small rig cage, small rig top handle, and I'm also using two lenses. I'm using the 24mm to 70mm GN2 lens, that's 2.8, and I've also got a Samyang 18mm wide, just for when I'm in a confined space. At the moment, I've not felt the need for any other lenses, and they're doing the job perfectly fine. I've also got a cheap Amazon card holder. This is just to hold all the different types of card I'm using. It supports the CF cards that Sony takes, as well as SD adapters and micro SD cards for my other devices. And I also carry extra little picky bits to tie camera screws and undo SD cards cleanly. And I take that everywhere I go. That can also hold batteries, but I don't use it for batteries just yet. I use a travel tech bag, which is this bag here. This is the Peak Design tech bag. This is where I keep all my extras, so like spare wires, there's some extra audio kit stuff in there, like audio adapters, anything techie, including batteries go in here. I like it because this bag isolates the batteries, so I can put all my GoPro batteries in little pockets and they're not going to be touching each other, which some airlines might be a bit picky with loose batteries jiggling about, so I just prefer to keep them kind of self-contained in this bag. So yeah, this tech bag, it varies what goes in here depending on what I'm doing on a given day, but that lives with me in the bag as well, and it just keeps everything nice and tidy. Onto sound, so I carry a pair of noise cancelling headphones with me. These are the Sony XM5s. They're really good. I use them hardwired in because I don't want latency when I'm editing. It speeds things up. Fun little fact that some of you might not know, if you use noise cancelling headphones or even Bluetooth headphones, when you're editing on a Mac or even a Windows computer, there's actually a bit of latency between the time you press space and when the sound gets transmitted to this particular headphone I found. If you use the hardwire, it actually speeds up editing by like a microsecond, which adds up. So yeah, that's my headphones. I like them because they're noise cancelling, so if I'm on a plane or in a noisy environment, especially when I'm anticipating that I'm going to be traveling around, this will drown all the sound out. A GoPro, this comes with me as well. I like to use this because sometimes, honestly, with the bigger kit, I can't be bothered to film. Sometimes I'll just throw this in my pocket. If I know that I'm going swimming or that I'm going to be doing something that's a bit more rugged, GoPro comes with me. Obviously the media mod's not waterproof. I've got the vlogging kit as well, so I've got a bunch of extra batteries, the media kit and the battery handle. I've had this for quite a while now, so I'm looking to potentially get rid of it eventually, but for right now it's the perfect thing because I can just throw it in my pocket and always still make stuff even when I don't feel like making stuff all the time. So in addition to having the GoPro as a camera that I just pick up as and when I need, I use my phone as well. I've got an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Obviously this comes with me in my pocket, but the reason I'm mentioning this is it's also really good for filming stuff when you don't feel like taking the bigger kit out. And that's also equipped with this relatively old now DJI stabilizer that I can mount the phone to if I want to get something nice and more, you know, a silkier looking shot. Relatively inexpensive, quite old, but yeah, that still comes with me. Just in case I want to film something that looks a bit better but isn't pristine. So I've also got some mounts that I use to mount all of these devices, and I have a bunch of attachments in a bag that lets me mount these to one another. So this is a small rig mini tripod. It's quite sturdy. This is metallic. I keep this with me just in case I need to set something up that's locked off and relatively neat. Really good for using on tables. I've also got, which is probably the best thing I've ever brought in terms of mounting equipment. This is a SmallRig Magic Arm, and I want to buy like 10 more of these because the shots that this thing allows you to get is incredible, and it's quite rugged. So this doesn't always go in the carry-on, but I've started carrying it more because I want to get access to it when I'm filming stuff on the fly. The reason it doesn't always come, again, is weight. This and the other mounts, the mini tripod, because they're metallic, they can go in check bags sometimes if I want to bring the weight down on my carry-on. But this Magic Arm is great. I mean, I know this isn't a feature video, but you can just mount it to things, and I can attach nearly all of my cameras to it, even the FX3, given certain circumstances. Yeah, it's brilliant. I actually love that. Powering these devices, I'm traveling with a pretty souped up Anker portable charger. This one has a dock that I use to charge other devices, and I can just put this on next to my bedside wherever I'm staying where I've got power, and this will charge up. So I'll always know that as long as that's on this dock, I'll have some extra battery. This battery can charge my MacBook once entirely, and it can charge my phone about 7 or 8 times. I've not tried it to charge the GoPro and some of the other smaller devices, but based on their actual size, I know it's going to charge them multiple times. So that's a really useful battery to have. That has to come with me on the plane because you're not allowed batteries in checked luggage. Same with all the batteries for my other devices. Sound, again, so we've had what we hear, and now we're going to talk about what we record with. This is the DJI Mic 2. I bought these quite recently as well. The 3 is out, but this brought the price of the 2 down, and the 2 does exactly what I need. Obviously, I'm wearing it now, and I'm using the transmitter and receiver with the FX3. And this can be plugged into my phone. So again, when I need to create something on the fly, this can go into the GoPro or into my phone, and I've got better clean audio. I might ditch the carry case and just put all the extensions, all the adapters and wires in the tech pouch, and then I've got a bit extra space in my bag. But I can't do that just yet because it's still new and I like the bag. Should have mentioned this earlier, I carry extra batteries. Now, a lot of people find it a bit taboo to have third-party batteries, but I couldn't afford to buy a bunch of extra batteries from official Sony sites, so I just use some Amazon ones. But I use these first, and then I use the official Sony one last in any given shooting day because I don't trust the reliability of how much battery they're reporting back to the camera. And then last but not least, a really essential part of any travel filmmaking kit is my DJI Mini 4 Pro. This I take absolutely everywhere if I want to get establishing shots or just some overviews of where I'm at. It's actually a really useful tool for just like navigating if you're in a kind of remote area. You can fly the drone up and have a look at where you need to go, which a lot of people probably don't use it for, but I use it more times than I'd like to admit for that reason. Obviously, the screen, and I also carry in my carry-on the 3 additional batteries so that I can fly longer. So that's the Fly More combo kit. And believe it or not, all of this does fit in the Peak Design 30 litre to 45 litre bag. The benefit of the Peak Design bag is it looks quite compact, and I think that's the key, especially when traveling through the airport, is to not look like your bag is heavy, to look like you can carry it with ease, and you oftentimes won't get pulled aside and checked. Obviously, you can't avoid having your bag weighed. Sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I hope you've enjoyed me talking about my tech. If there's anything that you take away from this video, that is the #1 thing, to not be afraid to take your tech with you on holiday. Take the big camera, take the expensive stuff, because you only live once and you want to document it and you want to film it and you want to capture those memories in as best a quality as you possibly can. So just fucking do it.